All right, bladesmiths, congratulations. The two of you have made it through the first 2 rounds of our layer race competition, which means you're going into the final round. Now, we are giving you 4 days of your home forges to battle it out for the title of Forge and Fire Champion and a check for $10,000. We want you to build this. The Mesopotamian sickle sword.
The sickle sword originated in Mesopotamia at the height of the Bronze Age, around 2500 BC. These sickle and curved-shaped swords often symbolized royalty and power, and were primarily wielded during ceremonies by kings and authority figures. Although these swords were not common on the battlefield, the belly of the blade allowed for quick, devastating blows and inspired designs for later weapons, such as the deadly Egyptian khopesh.
Good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Go.
My name is Robert Taylor. I'm from Brentwood, California. I'm a sergeant with the San Francisco Sheriff's Department. I took up bladesmithing because I'd like to watch Forge and Fire. It's something I really wanted to go further in, become an ABS smith, maybe a master smith someday, because I love forging. So I'm gonna go 500 layers of Damascus on each side with a 1084 center core. All right, we're going for our final forge weld. As long as I'm solid with my steel, 1084 will give it more stronger center. The place where I want it to bend will bend down, and then the tip will start bending up automatically as I hit it. I'm whacking it on the horn to get it to bend down. It's easier than using the hammer. I like it. Got the build all ready for the quench. If this quench doesn't go right, I'm gonna have to go ahead and start over, and that's gonna suck. Went in pretty hot. We'll see if we have any bad forge welds. We have a hard blade. I want to keep it light enough and balanced enough for somebody to swing it. Getting there. Feel really good about my weapon. Getting all the fit up done. I think this thing's gonna slice anything they put before it.
My name is Jacob Gates. I am 20 years old and I'm from Royalton, Minnesota. Martial arts has always been my first love and first hobby, and then I got into bladesmithing. They both kind of crisscross because when you're making a knife, it's just got to be real patient with it. Wax on, wax off. I'm going to put a ladder pattern in this steel. Kind of can see the ladder pattern in there already. The length and curve of this blade is going to be difficult to work with just because I want to make sure everything stays straight and doesn't have any warps to it. Looking good so far, because ultimately that could send me home if that's not spot on. We're getting ready to quench here. I feel pretty good about my progress. Everything looks good. That's good temperature. Oh, that is straight. Everything's looking good. Now we're gonna have to temper it. That's gonna take away a little of this hardness and it's gonna add toughness. Because right now it's pretty brittle. If I just went and smacked it on my anvil, it would probably shatter. I think the hardest part is gonna be getting the heat just right. I don't have an oven long enough to fit this sword in, so we're gonna have to do it all with a torch. It's not going to be as precise as having an oven. Don't want to overheat it. Makes me a little bit nervous because I don't know the ultimate outcome, but hopefully we get it just right. I want to make sure everything is even on this handle and everything feels good. As a martial artist, I'm really into flow and I'm really into feel. Feels good. I'm not quite sure what my strength test is going to be, but I think whatever they throw at it, it's going to be able to handle it.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. So to find out what kind of lethal damage they will do, I'm going to take your weapons and deliver some lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Jacob, you're up first. Ready?
Cut the head off.
Let's do that. All right, Jacob, let's talk about your sickle sword right here. Your edge is razor sharp. Coupled with the fact that this is a very light weapon, I can use velocity to really wield that sharp edge. It cuts deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, your turn, sir. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. All right, Robert, let's talk about your sickle sword. It's a very light blade, that much lighter than the other one. And the angle that you have in here lends itself to use not only velocity, but the sharpness of your edge to cut very deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, you will kill.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test, the Armored Warrior Chop. To test the strength and overall durability of your Mesopotamian sickle swords, I'm going to be chopping into these armored warriors. Jacob, you're up first. You ready for this?
I don't think I get a choice.
You don't have a choice. What actually happened is your sword bit into the other sword by about 3/16 of an inch, and it took out this chip. And once that chip was gone, the whole sword blew up. Your grain looks good, but unfortunately, it's just this sword against that sword. This time, that sword won.
Yep.
All right, Jacob, we hate to see this happen. You gave us a beautiful blade, but unfortunately, it did suffer a catastrophic failure on the 7th strike. But you are not out of the fight yet, because Robert, in order to become the champion, you will have to survive every single one of those 7 strikes on the Armored Warrior. Are you ready?
Let's roll the dice.
All right, Ben.
Good job.
Well, Robert, the big thing is, it's one sword. Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, Robert, you made it through all the testing. Jacob, it's a beautiful piece of work. Unfortunately, due to your catastrophic failure, we cannot continue testing, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was an honor.
Thank you very much.
Very nice job.
Thank you.
You know, it totally sucks, but I really am proud of the blade I made either way. You know, they said pretty much nothing but good things about it up until it broke. And well, I'd totally come back for this and maybe get a shot at making it all the way through.
Robert, we never like to see competitors' blades break, but yours did not, and that makes you the newest Forge and Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks.
Feel pretty good?
Crazy, dude. Crazy. Winning this championship, I think, has really pushed me to my limits, and then that makes me want to push them even more. Now I'm a champion, I'm going to go ahead and get my ABS Smith membership and just really refine my skills.
Kyle and Ben, congratulations. You guys are moving forward into round 3. Only the man next to you stands between you, the title of Forge and Fire champion, and that coveted check for $10,000. In round 3, we're gonna send you guys back home to recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Vajra-musti.
Wow. Originating in India, the Vajra-musti is an edged knuckle duster. The unique design features sharpened blades on every side of the handle, making it a specialty weapon only wielded by well-trained Indian warriors. The sharp edges on all sides provided the user with a wide range of lethal attacks, from deadly stabs and slashes to devastating punches. A traditional Indian martial art where the weapon is tied to the fists of wrestlers has lineage dating back to the Middle Ages and is still practiced today by professional wrestlers in India using non-lethal knuckle dusters.
I don't even know what to say. The closest thing I've seen to that is probably a pair of brass knuckles.
We're gonna send you guys home for 4 days, and when you guys come back, I wanna see 2 blades worth at least $10,000 piece. So do your absolute best work, and good luck. We'll see you in 4 days.
Awesome. Good luck, man.
Good luck.
I feel good to be back home here in Bellows Falls, Vermont, and we're going to make the Vajra-musti. I've never made a Vajra-musti or anything close to it. So I decided to use 1084 carbon steel because it's something I'm more familiar with. I think the most difficult part of the challenge will be making the handle, something that I'm definitely gonna have to pay a lot of attention to.
The two smaller blades are basically the same. One's a little longer than the other, and then the other blade's just a big rectangle.
5 hours into it, I feel pretty good.
One more soak in the forge, and then I'll quench them.
I got all the forging out of the way, so I'm feeling good. End of day one, I'm really glad I got the heat treat done.
Looks good.
Day two, I'm a little tired this morning, but I feel great, ready to get this show on the road. I decided that I'm gonna go with a torch heat treatment because the handle doesn't need to be hard. I just need the blades hard and the knuckle blade hard. So I did one, and I'm scared I'm gonna crack it in half because right after the quench, it is brittle. So any little shock or hit could cause catastrophic cracking. Luckily, I don't see any cracks, so I think the quench went well. That's gonna have to do.
It's beginning of day two, and I can't wait to get started. For the handle, I'm gonna go with copper. It's moving a lot better than I thought it was going to. I want to pay really close attention to detail. I want to make a $10,000 knife. Today I'm able to remove 3 pounds off a 5-pound chunk of copper, and now I've got a nice workable piece. Tomorrow I'd like to get the handle all finished up and the blades fitted on. That's basically it.
It's day 4, ready to get this thing done. So I just got done doing the profiling on my Vajra-musti. Feels pretty good. I'm gonna start doing fit up on the handle. I'm feeling great. At the end of the day, I used every minute that I had. There's definitely some finishing touches that I didn't get to that I wish I had, mainly the handle. I'm hoping that there's not, major hot spots around the knuckles or anything like that. It can look like crap, but as long as it feels comfortable in your hand, that's fine. I feel good. I mean, I definitely did the best that I could.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your weapon and deliver multiple lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Kyle, you're up first. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
All right, Kyle, let's talk about your weapon here. I was worried about the finger welds that you had there, that they would be an issue, especially when I'm punching. No issues there. I like the fact that as it gets slippery, it gave me a very good grip. Overall, it is a beautiful piece, and your weapon will kill.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ben, your turn, sir. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. All right, Ben, let's talk about your weapon here. The edges are very sharp, but there are some sharp edges that you have in here. Every movement started to give me a little bruise and cut off some skin right there. But in terms of what this weapon will do, it will kill.
Thanks, Doug.
My hand.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test. To test the strength and durability of your Vajra-mustis, as well as their overall construction, I'll be stabbing and punching into this sheet metal and chain. Kyle, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right, Kyle, in this strength test, your two long blades held up great. The center blade here took some chipping on that chain. I'm looking at the grain in there, and it's pretty big. I would have liked to have seen that refined. But in general, these two blades held up well. Nice job.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
All right, Ben, you're up. You ready for this?
Sure am.
All right, Ben. Well, the first thing I feel when I pick this weapon up is its sheer mass. I mean, it's a heavy, heavy weapon. That did you some justice in the strength test. The only thing I could see is a little bit of glinting on the lower blade, but the middle blade, it took a pretty major deflection right here. It kind of cracked one more little hit here, and that would just come off. The main thing working against you on this blade is the rough inner surface. I couldn't really find a real comfortable way of getting this finger out of harm's way. But after the strength test is all in one piece, nice job.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, we know your weapons can heal, and we know they are strong. Now it's time to find out just how sharp they are. To find out, we'll take your weapons and deliver some stabs and slices on these spice bags. Kyle, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yep.
Let's do this. All right, Kyle, let's talk about your weapon. It is comfortable. It's a good fit on my hand. It's got a pointy enough tip over there, but with that one piece where you're missing some edges, it was more of a jagged cut. When it came to stabbing and slashing on both weapons on each end, it'll cut. Good job.
Thank you, Doug.
Ben, your turn, sir. You ready?
Ready, let's go.
Let's do it. All right, Ben, let's talk about your weapon. The weight that you have here back up the cut because you have very sharp edges and the cuts are very deep. But my hand, when I'm making impact, still rubs on the inside of your handle. But other than that, sir, your beast, it will cut.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, guys, you guys both came through with unbelievable pieces of work, verging on art, and they performed almost equally on all the tests. Unfortunately, we can only send one of you guys home with the title of Forged in Fire champion and a check for $10,000. And our champion today is Kyle. Congratulations. Ben, unfortunately, you're not walking home the champion today. Doug's gonna tell you why.
Ben, I commend you on building a very unique weapon, but only your handle affected both of us when we were testing it. And for that reason, we're sending you home.
Totally understand.
Ben, you obviously showed you have what it takes to be in the Forge and to compete with some of the best. But unfortunately, the time has come and I have to ask you to leave the Forge floor.
Thank you, guys. This was awesome, for sure. Good job. Kyle, amazing job. Honestly, I feel great. I mean, it was an amazing experience. I'm super happy for Kyle. I had a feeling that handle was gonna get me, but I busted my butt and honestly did the best that I could, so I don't have any regrets.
Well, Kyle, congratulations. You'll be leaving here with the title, Forged in Fire champion, and a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. My wife's gonna be super pumped when I tell her that I'm the next Forged in Fire champion.
What are you gonna do with that cash, man?
My wife and I are probably gonna use it for a down payment on a house.
That's absolutely
Nice,
fantastic.
nice.
Cool.
18 months ago, I would have never imagined being here today. Hell yeah, I'm Forged in Fire champion.